So I'm Officer Bertram with the Virginia Beach Police Department. I've been an officer for 5 years, currently assigned to the Traffic Safety Unit as a fatal crash investigator. In my off time, I like to play video games, specifically Fortnite, don't judge me, and I love to cook. Two times. It was 2021 and 2020 for my arrests in 2019 and my arrests in 2020. In my 5 years, 315. So it's important to me. It's important for me to keep my community safe. You know, for the citizens that live here, for my fellow officers, for my family. In my current assignment, I see every day how drunk driving and impaired driving and drug driving can affect one single life, and how that one single life that's taken can affect an entire community. So I think it's important to have the preventative measures and the deterrence so that we are not seeing those fatalities and those tragic accidents that we have so many times a year. So I think the general idea is the more education you can get out there and the more people are aware of the fact that they shouldn't be driving if they're drinking too much or taking drugs or medications. I think it's important for us as officers to be well-versed and well-trained and experienced so that we can properly get these drivers off the road and bring them to prosecution so that they're understanding the consequences of their mistakes before the consequences killing themselves or somebody else. I tell myself every DUI arrest I know I saved at least one life, even if it was just that driver that night. So I think it's important for myself in my career in this unit that I'm in, where I can tailor my trainings to specifically impaired driving, that it makes me a better officer so that I can adequately find these drunk drivers on the road before they're crashing and prevent that, that fatality for the night. I've been focusing on my trainings here. I think one of the biggest things that we're seeing is an increase in drug driving, specifically with marijuana. I just finished drug recognition expert training, so I'm one of now 50 in the state. We have 4 of them here in Virginia Beach, and they really help with the general detection, the deterrence, and adequately testing these individuals to see if they need to, if they can drive and if they can operate a vehicle. So it's not really just drunk driving anymore. We call it impaired driving because the drugs are just as bad as alcohol is these days. I would say if you know you're going out and you're planning to have even one drink, just don't drive. Just plan that if you're going to have at least that one drink, just eliminate the possibility of even having too many drinks or driving. Just get a ride, Uber out there, or if you're going to drive, just don't drink at all. Because now as soon as you start taking those first few sips of alcohol, you're now towing that gray area of, am I going to be impaired to drive later? Or you say, yeah, you know, I feel all right, I can have a second drink, or I feel all right, I can have a third drink. Well, I ate a lot of food, I'll be okay. That really has nothing to do with it. You're still going to get to the same BAC. It might just be a little bit of a slower process because of the food in your stomach, but just because you ate doesn't mean you're going to sober up. So if you're planning on drinking, just don't drive. Just take an Uber or a taxi. And then the other thing I would say is, if you're prescribed medications, make sure you're reading the labels. We get tons of people that are taking their prescribed medications as they're supposed to, but then they're driving, and they have a warning label on there that says don't operate heavy machinery, and for some reason people just don't think that that's a car. Just because you're prescribed it by a doctor and it's perfectly legal doesn't mean you can drive on it. So make sure you understand the effects of how it's affecting you and talk to your doctor and talk to your pharmacist to say, hey, is this something that might affect me, make me drowsy, make me sleepy, lessen my reaction time or something like that, and should I take caution before driving? So that would be my biggest advice. If you're going to go out and you're planning on even having a sip of alcohol, just don't drive at all, so you eliminate the possibility. And then if you're on you know, any kind of prescription medications, make sure you're reading the labels and talking to your doctor before you get behind the wheel.